Hey there, paper geeks and glitter nerds, it's Sine, and this week's card is a Father's Day card using Lawn Fawn products mostly, a few others. And here you see the 4 stamp sets that I'm gonna use for this. And I'm gonna stamp them out in River Rock ink, which is one of the newer inks from Lawn Fawn for alcohol marker coloring. And you can see here I bought the pack of all 4s. I'm gonna test them out over the next few weeks. I'm very excited. Trying something new is always interesting. And I'm gonna use my Nina Solar White for stamping on and coloring. And in the corner you can see my template. I started this card out planning what I needed so that I can stamp the necessary amount of cattails and stuff. This way I don't have to go back and stamp more and color more. Hopefully I don't have to. Well, I don't see what else I can say about this part. It's very straightforward, and I figure you don't need me telling you how I color. It's pretty self-explanatory. The markers will be on the screen and everything, and in the description as always. So I'm just gonna come back later when I have something to say. Here we go. I have fussy cut out everything off camera. Now for creating the background of this card, I'm using a double pierced rectangle. I'm gonna make 2 of those. One for the actual background, and then the other one I'm gonna cut into the hill and the water. You can see I tried to plan this out, but I was very bad at the planning. I didn't think about putting the cut down when I planned this out, but now I'm just fixing it. I'm gonna try and make it look like there's a bit of a overhang from the grassy area to the water. I'm gonna color the background with distress inks, and I'm pretty sure this part does not need explaining either. So enjoy the music. And now we've reached assembly. I'm gonna first lay out everything now that I finally have all the pieces, just to make sure I don't need to make more of anything or something is broken and doesn't fit. I cut the feet off the ducks since they're gonna be in the water. I didn't need them. If you've been wondering, that was all on purpose. And since this is a Father's Day card, I did pick muted colors. That's why I didn't make a pink water lily flower, but made it this purple-ish kind of color. Now my planning didn't work out quite as well as I'd hoped. I had to move the rock, but it actually makes sense because then the little ducks can, the ducklings can use it to get up and out of the pond. So that was a lucky mistake. and I'm just making sure that I don't need more, that I have everything I need, and it seems like it. And I have to cut a slit for each duckling in the water. I made all 3 ducklings, since my father has 3 kids. So I thought it would be kind of fun that that'd be the same number of ducklings. And I just make the cut a bit wavy, so it gives a bit of life to the water. I have been wanting this set actually for more than a year. I think they're so cute, but I had a pause in spending, so now I finally was able to get one. I'm so happy with it. I can't wait to make other cards. That bubble bath is divine. I can't wait to put just about every character I own in it. So now the water's gonna get a single layer of tape, foam tape, that's the word, while the grassy part is gonna get a double layer, so that it seems like it's more above the water. I did think it worked out pretty well, and this is just my scraps. I don't know why I just can't throw these tiny ones out, because sooner or later I'm gonna need one for something. You never know. I'm just gonna fold the tape in half, makes it easier than trying to build it up one layer at a time. And I had to go get an extra roll. I have to go to the store soon to get more, because you don't want to run out of foam tape. You know that as well as I do. Now I was lucky I could pull this off twice without too much damage to my panel. But a trick you can use, I can't remember who taught me this one, it's someone on YouTube of course, but if you can put liquid glue on top of the foam tape, and that makes it easier to maneuver it into place. And then afterwards the glue dries, and when you press it down hard enough, the stickiness of the tape will also grab on. It's a very neat trick. And since this is a Father's Day card, I wanted the duck to be the focus of the card, so I'm popping him up. I will say that I really did like the River Rock ink, but I was missing a pen to hide the core of the paper like I do on the black one. I may have to look into getting one if it's possible. I haven't looked into it yet. But the muted colors, or the muted lines of the images actually makes this, in my opinion, a more peaceful card to look at. It's not shouting at whoever looks at it. in the same way a black bold line, like the black one can. So I'm very very happy about buying it. I can't wait to use the others to see. I have a brownish memento color. Memento. So I'm thinking that the crunchy leaf, isn't that the word? The crunchy leaves? Yeah. One will be similar to work with, and it may not work on every image. But so far so good. Now I love these new dies I've bought myself. With the scalloped edge, and these fit the metric cards, so that's wonderful because I only make metric cards. I haven't converted to imperial like many others have, and luckily there's a lot of companies who've seen it and have started producing dies that fit the metric card system. That is very wonderful. Now I couldn't just put it on the white card base, I needed just a little bit of color, a little bit more. And I think this green one fit perfectly because the card is very dark and this one is so much lighter. But it still complements everything with the gingham. Now we need a sentiment. So I'm gonna do vellum so that I don't hide too much of the beautiful scene I just made. And I'm gonna stamp out the sentiment, I'm a lucky duck to have you as a father. Or dad? Dad, of course. Yeah, it's a very cute sentiment. And I'm also going to stamp on the inside of the card. Now I of course remember this after I put it together. So here I am borrowing the pad from the mini Misty and putting it in the big Misty so that I can have space in the hole for the dimension of the card, and I have raised the part that I have to stamp on. I hope that makes sense. I hope you can follow what I'm saying and what I'm doing. And then the sentiment will say, have a totally awesome Father's Day. Which I think is an awesome awesome sentiment. Seriously. I do make one mistake with the trail of the dragonfly, unfortunately. But I can live with it. This fills up so much space that I don't have to write anything other than the most necessary things and before I send it out. Of course I should have stamped the trail and then the dragonfly. That would have been so much easier, but you live and you learn, right? Now I just need the sentiments for the outside. I did contemplate putting adhesive all over the back of these before I die cut them, but I didn't want that look, and since there are so many elements it would still be visible. So I'm gonna do something, and it worked out, luckily. I'm gonna take a toothpick and put glue behind the letters, and it actually worked out. I was a bit surprised, but very happy. I do love how this card turned out, and this is the very last step I'm gonna make. I'm not gonna put any bling or glitter on it. I did think about maybe glittering up the water to make it reflect light, but I decided against it since this is a masculine card. And here is one last look at the finished outside of the card. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. You learned something maybe, or got inspired. Anyway, I hope you will be having a good day, evening or night, and I'll be back again next week with a new tutorial.